Hello, and welcome to my first ever VOD time-lapse. This is for my playthrough of City Skylines. I absolutely love this game. And so I just thought I'd come back, review these VODs, and have a little chat about them. Everything's going to be going past very quickly, so I apologise if this is a little bit rambly and also maybe a little bit delayed compared to what you're seeing on screen. But what I'm doing at the moment is just setting everything up. You kind of have to just set up a slightly ugly city when you're first starting City Skylines. If you've ever played the game, you will know that you have to just sort of start off a little bit ugly. So I've got these basic little grids, just a couple of very basic services going in, a little bit of water, a little bit of electricity. The goal for this city is to build ourselves just a kind of generic pretty city. This is Catboy City, and we're building this out with the goal of building essentially the city from my lore. So for anyone who is new to this is my first ever time doing a video like this, so you may well be new to this. Hello, my name is Mustard. I am Big Dumb Himbo Kitty Catboy, and I work in a park and I sell hot dogs. So this is me building out the city that I live in, and most importantly we're going to be building Big City Park in the middle. I haven't really got round to most of that at the moment. You will see about halfway through this we do start building the park, but I haven't really done very much of it just yet. We're mostly just kind of trying to make a functional city, and you'll see that I didn't necessarily succeed very well in that. So this is the first 3 streams of this. I stream about twice a week on twitch.tv/mustardcat_VT. Do please check it out if you're enjoying this. It's always just a chill time, and I play a lot of games like this, just kind of chill, relaxing games. I realise that I've kind of glossed over a lot of what's been going on screen, so this is just kind of the basic starting stuff for making a city in City Skylines. You have to make a lot of these kind of basic rough-looking cities, and I'm just building out now where I want the actual city to be. So where I've been building so far, this is going to be an industrial area. Towards the end of this, you can see it becoming far more just an industrial area. This is me just checking through when I get different things. And at the moment, the 2 halves of our city are completely separated. Top tip, don't do that. It's a very bad idea. We've also built out a little bit of fishing industry. That was me putting that in the river earlier. And that's our first school going in, because we're getting various services coming in. I've also realised I'm not making a lot of money, so I have turned all of my expenditure right down. That again will prove to be a little bit silly. You'll see here on this main part of the city, whenever I go back to it, you'll find I zoom around a lot. Slightly scatterbrained. That's our population dropping from me moving things around. But you can see there we've got 2 roads running parallel to each other. One is a sort of main thoroughfare. There are no buildings on that, or very few buildings. There's a few sort of schools and things, but mostly all the buildings are on the road that runs parallel to it, which is our main shopping street, which is going to get extended. You can also see up the end of the shopping street is a coal power plant. We're going to have some problems with that later on, and it's going to very nearly destroy the whole city. You can see that I'm having problems with garbage building up. That is because the city is separated into 2 halves, and as I say, everybody has got to go right the way round on this highway network. Slightly extending the roads out here, building a few new houses, because we've got a lot of demand for housing. I'm just sort of putting it in wherever I can. You can see here now I'm slightly extending that main street, so that's the main street there. Realise that everyone's very unhappy there's not enough parks, and I'm too stupid to work out until much later on that the reason everybody is upset with the parks is because I turned the budget down, not because there aren't enough parks. So I will later on turn the budget back up. It's me just putting in a couple of extra parks and another dump. I'll put in a few of these. We have a lot of problems with electricity, water, and rubbish collection, all of which are just about sorted out now. And you can see me being really desperate to put a little bridge across there, just having to keep waiting for money to be able to put the bridge in, so I can connect up the two halves of the city. And there we go, finally done it. So now the two halves of the city are actually connected, and you don't have to go all the way around the motorway. And we got to Boomtown. And that was as far as I got in the first stream. So the town was just about functional. And it's kind of in the second stream where we start having a few more problems. So this is our fishing industry, which wasn't doing very well. I turn it on and off because I don't think it's actually making us any money. Just slightly extending that road and making it 4-lane the whole way along. And this is now trying to put in some housing that's a bit more permanent, so it's off of a grid. I wanted this city to... I wanted the city to feel slightly generic, but I guess more European than American. So me trying to do a little cul-de-sac, I will improve that later on. So I'm kind of not really going for any particular style, but I didn't want everything to be on a grid. I wanted there to be areas that felt a little bit older, so I've put in some of these sort of wiggly roads as if they are country lanes that have been swallowed up by the city. Putting in some more healthcare and death care and moving a few of the services across to the other side. Me putting in another bit of sewerage. And yeah, desperately trying to make some more money, so I took out a loan. Yeah, this is me getting very confused by why everybody's not using the parks. And also getting rid of some areas there so that I can put in a much nicer junction in that first area that we had. You can really see how I swing around the map all the time. Putting in our first bus lines, because we now have bus lines available. So I've got 2 linking this kind of shopping area to the industrial area and the housing area, so that everybody can get about. I'll put in a few more bus lines soon enough. This is me kind of... If you watch some of these streams live, you'll see that I really love zooming in and just looking at all the little people moving about. Yet more confusion from me as to why people are not happy with the parks. It's just standard from me getting confused. I'm trying to make the city nice and walkable as well, so I'm putting in lots of walking paths. You'll also see, obviously I've got a live chat going on, and in some of these streams we got a little, should we say a little not safe for work? Yeah, we started getting just a little bit frisky in chat. And here you can see the power problem starting. This is because I put that power plant right at the end of the road, and for some reason trucks can't access it. And if I'd moved it here, I would have been okay, but instead I tried to build some extra power in by putting a wind turbine in. If I had just moved the power plant at that point, the city would have been a lot better, a lot quicker. I suddenly realised that the reason that all the power problems were happening was because of that power plant, and that I needed to move it, but I don't have any money. You can actually see there we've got a negative amount of money at the moment. So I just kind of have to wait around for a bit until I've got enough money to move that turbine. Still moving people over in terms of housing and trying to build more housing, because the majority of our money is coming in through taxes within housing. And that coal power plant is now moved, and finally we're going to get some power. As soon as I moved it, all the problems were solved in terms of power, which also solved all of our water problems, because our water was right at the furthest point from the power station, so that was the first thing that was losing power each time. Putting in a few more parks, some little tennis courts, checking the population. After that initial population drop, which was caused by me trying to move everyone to the other side of the city, we never really had any any major problems with that. But there were certainly a few points where it dropped off, and definitely this city could have grown a lot faster. Just checking the bus usage, and here I shorten the fishing route. It's actually still too long. You want that so that fishing boats are full by the time they reach the end, but not before they reach the end. So I'm building a second shopping street, which is sort of adjacent to the first. I plan on running some trams between the two of them. I have unlocked trams. We've got far enough in the game that that is the case. I just haven't built any yet. I haven't had a lot of money to do anything. A few extra little bits of shopping. That will become a little organic district. That tiny little road will just be all on its own little organic district. Some extra bits of housing, just wiggly wavy roads, kind of natural looking. And that's our second shopping street, and I want that to be quite a posh shopping street. And also, I haven't unlocked leisure yet, but once the leisure specialisation is unlocked, I will be doing that down there, so it's all pubs and clubs and restaurants. This is putting in some more buses down to the new bits of housing that we built and extended the city out here. I realised there that I could make a little forestry area because there's some trees there. It doesn't work very well. We're mostly importing our wood, but it's there nonetheless. And this is Catboy Park. This is kind of the reason for building it. So this is the area that's going to become Catboy Park. I've only recently got the DLC for the parks, but I know that there are some water elements to city parks, so I built it on the river edge there. That's me building out some more power as well. So this is now our third stream, putting in this little teeny tiny bus so that people can get to the forestry area, and extending the power out to shopping area. As I mentioned, this is my first time doing one of these, so any and all feedback is very welcome. Obviously, try and keep it polite. I realise that it won't be as polished as hopefully they will be in the future. But yes, any and all feedback is brilliant. I'd be particularly interested to know if this is maybe a little bit fast. This is 20 times the original speed, and I do wonder if it might be a little bit fast. You can see chat here being very sweet and giving me some head pats, also getting themselves some hot dogs from the hot dog stall. So I put in this area with the thought of putting in one of the nice shopping malls into there. I was originally going to go for the Mall of Moderation, and then I realised that the posh shopping mall would fit pretty perfectly into there. And at the end of this stream, I do put the posh shopping mall into that area. It's our first and currently only unique building. It just goes on that little loop, and I will probably also run trams through there eventually. And I'm still confused here as to why no one's using the parks. It's taken me 2 streams to work this out. And also why no one's using schools. This is me thinking about trams. You can see that I haven't built anything for Catboy Park yet. It is just a tiny little loop. So it exists, but it's not in even close to its correct form yet. Just improving some of the roundabouts, making sure they're working properly. And again, putting in plenty of paths, making sure the whole area is pretty walkable. I love that there's a tiny little carousel park that I just thought was really funny to put right next to the dump. The idea of, oh yeah, we'll go to the nice carousel park, and it's just right next to the city dump. If you're wondering why I lingered on that shot as well, it's because I realised that shopping street looked just a little bit sussy, shall we say. And also I had a pause because I was eating, which is why we were all saying crunch in chat. But yeah, the city is now at a point where it's actually working quite nicely, and from here on we don't really have any issues with kind of power and money and that kind of thing. Again, this is just kind of making sure that a lot of things are working, checking up on the buses. We spent a lot of time discussing the bendy buses that I put in. I mean, they're articulated buses, but I always call them bendy buses. And how kind of weird and awful they are. So this is extending for yet more housing down here. I will probably also make down here pretty soon a little shopping area, because it's a little way away from the main shopping area, so I just wanted a secondary shopping area. And I'll buy that piece of land next to that roundabout fairly soon. That is probably going to be the next piece of land that I buy. Having said that, there is also a railway line in another direction, so I might get that one soon too. Again, this is just me kind of zooming around the map, just enjoying looking at the map, because I really do enjoy just looking at it. Making sure here that Catboy Park has at least one of everything. Putting in a couple more parks. Excuse me, that is another unique building. That was one of the plazas. I think it's the Statue of Shopping, I think. So in fact I have two unique buildings. I'd forgotten that I put that one in. This is making sure that this area is going to be a leisure zone, but unfortunately I don't actually have it unlocked. I only realised that after I made it. And that's a little organic district. And of course naming everything in a cursed way. And there's the Mall of Moderation. Everything does seem to catch fire quite a lot. Putting in a couple more schools, making sure everybody's got enough education. And as is always the case in the early game, demand for housing is always very high. Just going through here and improving some of the streets, swapping out some of those early roads for roads with trees, which are far better in residential areas. It reduces noise, and a lot of people were complaining about noise at that point. And yeah, we're having a few problems with rubbish, but everything else is going okay. I definitely need a few more recycling centres, I think. And I get round to improving this junction. It's nothing particularly fancy, it's just a little roundabout with a few 3 exits to it, plus the exit to the highway. So there's a few different options there down into the industrial area and the rest of the city. I'm going to keep that side as an industrial area. I might put in a little bit of housing. There is also some shopping there still, which I may well get rid of the shops that are down there, particularly once I get high density shopping, which basically all of the shopping areas that I've got currently will be replaced with high density. Finally, realising that I can up my budget for a few of these things, and everything's dramatically improved by doing it. And yeah, still having a few problems with rubbish, so I put down a recycling centre down near our new housing estate. And that is pretty much as far as I get so far. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I will be making a few more with the next few VODs. I think I'm going to make them a little shorter in future. I might just do 2 VODs per video rather than 3. It's just me improving the buses once again, putting in a new bus down to that new housing estate. And yeah, any and all feedback, very welcome. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And hopefully on screen now will be some cards to some further videos. Catch you all soon. Bye bye. Thank you very much. Bye bye.